don't know if the audience wants to know our history.
Years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
My career, I was actor who was working. I had a job waiting tables from 11 at night to 7 in the morning so I could audition during the day. Sometime around this time, I walked into a Taco Bell to get something to eat, apparently, and she saw me, said, oh, he's good looking, but he didn't drive up in anything. And I need to be with a man at least that's driving up in something.
Okay, now I'm going to tell my side of it.
See, I ain't
Wait a minute, now he not going to portray me as no gold digger.
I didn't know this was a heel Sherry story.
No.
I'm sitting here like an audience member. I'm going, and then no Bob went
Sherry,
off.
I think we better hear your side of this. I think we better hear your side of this. You got me like I'm the gold digger. You didn't drive up in anything. I had been taking the bus. I'm trying to save up for a car. I'm on the bus stop myself, and I'm looking at you. You were cute. You did look attractive. You came into that Taco Bell, and I'm looking for a marriage mate. So I'm riding the bus. So if we gotta go somewhere, I ain't even got no car. I can ride the bus by myself. But I'm going from
See? But I have potential.
I don't see how our answer, was any different from his. Yeah, you identify what you needed now in your life, and you made your decision based on that. That's fine, right? That's fine. The real truth is, you may miss out on some actual decent quality guys, and then you may miss out on people that can change your life. That's the reality of it. When we make our decisions based on what we need right now, not the qualities of a person, with the potential qualities of a person, right? We know this could happen now, and we know this is the extreme sort of case, right? Who would have known that guy walking in to Taco Bell had a Harvard? It was a Harvard graduate. You wouldn't have known that, right? But when you cancel out people based on these preconceived notions that society has told you is important, this is where you find yourself. And guys, before we're gonna play this one back so we can deep dive in it. Just, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. You guys can hear it. I'm still under the weather, but I'm doing what I can. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I'm still going to try at least 2 a day. But let's rewind this one back.
I don't know if the audience wants to know our history.
Years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
My career, I was actor who was working. I had a job waiting tables from 11 at night to 7 in the morning so I could audition during the day. Sometime around this time.
And that's grind, right? That's the hustle. That's the actor hustle, right? That's the thing that you want to see in people. If you had given him a chance, and by the way he told this story, I don't think he remembers seeing her as she remembers seeing him, because he makes no mention about that. This sounds like a story, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if you think I'm making too far of a leap in assumption here, but it sounds like this story was retold to him by T.K. Sumter, rather than he's like, oh no, yeah, I remember wanting to step to you or talk to you. No, this story is very much from her point of view, even when both of them are telling it. So again, when you look at people on that very surface level, and we have a society now that says, don't build a man. Right? Don't look for potential, especially when you're older. I get why that is said, right? You don't have time. You don't have time for a man to get it together, especially as you're older in life. You need the things to be figured out now. The problem is, you should bet on a man's potential when he's young. That's the time to go in. That's the time to bet. That's the time to cash in the chips and say, all right, this is what we're going to do here, right? When you build with someone, you guys have created something together. There is a real bond there, even if a bond of struggle. When you wait at the finish line for that guy, he now has the ability to say yes, no, maybe. There's no incentive for him to say, I see that grind and hustle in you, that thing that would make you more important than someone else. That opportunity is last. If we're being fair and we're being realistic, there's not a lot of time, right? There's not a lot of time that we have as men to really hit that love button, right? That knockout, drag out love where you're so incensed to the moon and back. And I'm not talking about in a simp sort of way. I'm just talking about in a real sort of way. Because very early in our life, very early in life, life gets you and beats you down again and again and again and again and again and again. You dive into that struggle, you dive into that grind. That grind takes a sacrifice. And it's something you're not really like you don't really understand that you're paying it. You don't understand the currency in which it's charged. A lot of that is the vibrancy of life, right? How impactful things are to you. You get in that grind mentality, that grind culture, and you do it to the next grind. You've already accomplished the things you said would make you happy. You hit that goal and you're ready for the next one. You're addicted to the grind. The grind is who you are. It's not the accomplishments. When I struggled, right? I struggled to write a book, right? In the beginning, it flowed. And then it had the point where every time I would sit down, and crack on the laptop or open up the phone, there was a voice of insecurity saying, "This is not good. This is not as good as the polished writers you typically compare yourself to. This is not as good. Who do you think you are to do this thing?" And what happens? You have to run straight into that. You have to run into that wall. You have to grind that voice to a nub, to just this meek little thing. And you do that by showing your work. You say, I sat down and wrote for the last 3 months, and this is good. I know it's good. I've even workshopped it out, and I know it's good. So I know it's good. So that voice, I know you're lying. That takes something out of you, right? That takes something out of you. There's a charge for that, right? There's a pay, the bill comes due. So now the book is done, and I'm super amazingly proud of it. But something is missing in my life. Daily grind, that grind, that grind, that grind. So I got to look for the next grind instead of celebrating the actual accomplishment. How do we relate this down to relationships? That vibrancy. The next time you meet someone, you're not thinking about all the qualities and how wonderful they are. It's there, but it doesn't peak like it used to. It doesn't peak like when you were 16, right? When you were 18, when you were young in your 20s. It doesn't peak like that, right? That mountain, that Everest, is now a little hill, right? A tiny little hill. You're like, oh, that is now how I feel when I'm enamored. That's how I feel when I'm in love now. It doesn't hit as much as it used to. And that's something we do to ourselves. We almost as we're numbing ourselves. Life has a way of numbing you to the pain of it so you continue existing in it. When you don't have solace, right? And let's say this for men. When you don't have solace at home, in a safe space with the comfort of someone else, be it your friends, be it your woman, you don't have that. You carry a bit of that armor with you at all times. It's always on. You're think about yourself as Iron Man, constantly in a new set of armor, constantly new set of armor. You never get a chance to really rest. So now that's your norm, right? You ruined your baseline. You ruined it relationally. So even when someone is good for you, you don't feel like it, right? It doesn't get you over the wall. This is why I say it's really important for men and women to get this thing figured out early. Because early, I'm still vibrant. Early, I'm still energetic. Early, the grind has not been the only thing, or the grind has been there, and so have you. You are the relief from the grind. You are the port in the storm. When you're not part of that, I just look at it as a very transactional thing. I've put in this much of effort and time to accomplish this thing. And now you're here demanding access to those things. And when I ask you why, you don't have a real answer. You have the snazzy, what's the latest comeback for what do you bring to the table? When I ask you a real pointed question and saying, why should I let you into this kingdom, into this workplace, and give you partner status? If for a successful man now, right? There's a separate story for the guy's a bum. The guy's a bum. You always have access to bums. For the successful man, for the successful Hill Harper now, they're not in the same bracket now in terms of, hey, now we can actually sit down and have conversations because I see you can do all the things that I wanted back then and probably now. I can get that thing from you. So no, if you weren't part of the build process, it gets very hard for men to let you in. We can love you, we can cherish you, we can care for you, but there's going to be a large part of us that's always reserved for that grind, for that hustle, for that thing that we can always rely to go back because the grind is honest, right? The grind is honest. You put in the effort and it promises you this is the result I'm going to give you. It promises you that. You can't do the same. I can love you, I can cherish you, and you can still get tired of me. That grind is never going to disappoint you. Just a couple of hours ago, I was talking to one of my friends. He said, male heartbreak is the greatest fuel for men to get their lives together. It's the greatest fuel. But eventually, our heart becomes kind of numb to being broken again and again and again and again. And sometimes that's not a woman's fault. Sometimes that's society. That's the grind. That's what it takes from you. That's the cost. So if you want to wait at the finish line, understand he's going to set the terms and they're going to be unfavorable. They're going to be unfavorable for you. All the list of the things that you say you want, more than likely, no. More than likely, no. Unless you have commensurate value that he can see, he's like, this is exactly the thing I'm missing in my life. But it's a negotiation now, right? You have to bring that forward. There's no snarky rejoinders about, I am the table, or I don't want to be at anyone's table that needs me to bring something. There's none of that, right? There's really none of that. For the guys that women say they want, that's the caveat. That's the real caveat. But if you're looking for someone like a successful Hill Harper, of course, we're not talking that Hill Harper level, but someone successful, the best bet is get them early. Guys, if you feel what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. Women, if you have something to add, feel free. I'll always love the conversations. I'll see you guys on the next one.